Hey, good morning. Welcome. Let's talk about what's moving, shall we? Let's kick it over. You know, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, and fun, not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. So, if you desire personal financial advice, go hire and consult a financial advisor. And we just had PPI come out this morning and retail sales. So popping onto this, one of my favorite little explorers for all sorts of worldwide numbers, government numbers data. We see core PPI coming in kind of flat with the expectation. Retail sales coming in below. PPI, not core PPI, but regular PPI coming in below. And you can click on these little graph buttons here. This is forexfactory.com calendar, just the calendar button right up here at the top tab. So looking at retail sales, coming in down, not hugely down, not hugely up. After all this volatility we've had in the past year, 2020, that was a snapback off of 2020, and then we kind of honed it back into the kind of action we saw previous. So usually we don't get big spikes or big downs. This is, you're kind of pushing the limit of a down actually for retail sales. So interesting there, I guess. A little bit negative for making money and for businesses selling stuff. So yeah, oh, gotta scroll this back over here so I can close it back up right there. And PPI, this producer price index right there, and this one's coming in not super great, but that means that producer prices are coming back down, which means inflation for product. This is people that produce products. So everybody's complaining about big corporations, raking in, like raising prices. Look at all that. Their costs were going up like crazy. So now their costs coming back down 0.5%. Maybe that can, maybe not. That'll translate into actual price relief for buying stuff. But I'm not holding my breath. I wouldn't if I were you. So if you've never looked at these, this is what this really means. You can see the inflation right there. That was the cause. I mean, the root cause of the consumer price inflation, it's right there. Producer prices were up. So it's not like it's just greedy corporations raising prices. Their costs were going up like crazy. So, all right. What does that have to do with the market? Well, so far we had a 20-point candle on S&P 500 right when that numbers came out. This little spike doji looking thing. And we're kind of rallying back up to the highs we saw yesterday. If we can break through those, then we'll be on a path going higher. And I discussed all that last night during the live stream. Looks like we're going to head up to what I call the green box above. And that's on the S&P 500 chart. Let's see. Wrong one. Get that one. This box right here. Up around 4150 to 4300. That's where that would take us. And if we drop out for any reason, then we're probably going to head down here to about 3650. So that's just looking at the broad, market there. But where we are right now on the small time frames for today, looks like we're going to try to break out higher. I mean, this PPI candle just hit the roadmap line, and we're about to test those highs. Now, the triangle we had that I talked about yesterday in the morning live stream, we didn't quite make the target for the range. So there may be a little resistance breaking out of this 45 area on ES. ES is the future for S&P 500. So if you got any questions, you can ask me in the chat. Then, like I did yesterday, I went over to StockTwits, pulled up the most talked about, the trending list here, threw it into a list. So let's pop through those and look at them. You've got ATCBP. That looks like a biopharma data processing. I don't even know. Getting a little sparky here. You could go see what the news is, but it's breaking above the high, so we could return up to this 945 area right up here. That could be a little bit of run there. SHIB, that's a cryptocurrency. Went on a nice little tear, but then it's drifting back off, and kind of expect it to come back to the roadmap line before it does anything else. One more move like that. That's just the way these patterns go. Then ATLX, big spike up, drifting off, probably come back down, fill the gap, would be my estimation, unless that's some sort of buyout news or something. I'm not digging into the news and finding out what's going on. But mRNA, Moderna here, mRNA, nice move up. Again, it seems to be fading back out. Had a big spike yesterday after hours on some sort of news, I'm sure. But we came back up to retest that high, couldn't go higher. Looks like this one will drift back down also. Then we have blue. This one was a gap down and may drift back up to fill that gap down. So that was an interesting one there too. Another biopharma, whatever. Poet making the list. Small gap up. Just going to retest these highs from Wednesday. Probably. PSFE. Like I said, I'm not diving into all the whatever news is happening. Doesn't seem to be having any pre-market trades that are notable. Pace safe. AMC making a... Now that one could run higher right there. That's... Had a big up yesterday, continuing to climb in the in the post-market and then the pre-market. This one could break out head on higher here. So AMC could be in play today. It's a very interesting chart there. PLD looks like it's going to drift back off. Back to the roadmap line here, about 120. And let's see, SOS. Yeah, not just chop. I don't know what. JB Hunt announcing earnings. Looks like initial reaction was negative, but then popping back up and probably open kind of flat, and then carry out their reaction. So, and then PNC, this bank also announced their earnings, and looks like they're going down in flames here. So, and looking like it's going to continue down. And look at the daily chart. Yeah, they went from 160 to 150. Probably going to make a lower low out here. Probably in the 140s. Maybe 140. Let's see. Just use the tools, my man. Use the tools. So we go from the low to the high. Lower high. Continuation down. 137 would be a reasonable target right down in here. Right down. I usually draw circles for targets, not lines. Yeah, somewhere right down in there. I would expect that one to continue right down on there. So, all right. That's what we got. That's the market movers for the day so far. Another place you can go look, and we're gonna kind of this is Market Chameleon. Learned this from my friend Rob Booker, and here's a list of the most actives here. If you're looking for bullish stuff, most of us, we can only buy shares. We don't have shorting accounts, but if you want to check this out and see what the most popular stuff moving here: UAL, AAL, KDP. That's Keurig Dr Pepper. American Airlines. Let's check a couple of those out. AAL. Yeah, looking like gonna get some continuation up. That was I drew that for somebody the other day. Looks like 19 is gonna be the target. And then UAL. Yeah, hitting the targets, busting on through. Looks like 57 is the next target up. Let's see, KDP. That chart looked pretty horrible. Getting a little bit of pop, but it still looks pretty pretty bad. Let's see where the downside target, like, see if it got there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like it needs to extend down to 34. I used to trade Green Mountain Coffee. In fact, one of my biggest trades ever was on Green Mountain Coffee back when they were GMCR, and it was an earnings play, and I made a ton of money for me at the time, and that was prior to 2020. I was just a nobody really, and I made $40,000 in one day on that one, and it was crazy, and I just got it all right. Like, I was in the right options at the right, holding for the right earnings, and it popped and made me a ton of money. And then they did the Keurig cold thing, and then they had to go private, and I guess they've merged with Dr. Pepper and whatever and come back on the public scene, but I haven't really followed KDP at all. So it used to make, it used to be my stock. Like, I used to trade the crap out of GMCR. So anyway, interesting stuff, right? Let's see. Let's check out and see if there are any more interesting ones. GIS. Anything happening there? Looks like we may continue down. General Mills, and looks like we're going to continue down to the roadmap line here. Guess continuation. One that was hitting alerts this morning for me that fired off an alert already. Square coming up into the roadmap line on the daily. Yeah, look like it spiked up and getting a little bit of retrace here. Oh. And don't move the fib lines. It got a little retrace, but then it's spiking up again. So this one could get some legs and get above the roadmap line on the daily. My targets are way on up there. I do have an $80 target, an $85 target. Then looking at the bigger pattern, I have like a $95 target, up to a $200 target to return to the prior high. That's going to take a little while. So it didn't break down and hit those targets. It looks like it's going to break out. So looking pretty good on that one. Yeah, 95 probably have a little bit of resistance getting through 95 in the short term with those prior consolidation and high areas where it couldn't get up on the way down, and found support there over here. So all right, that's the stuff I got my eye on today so far. If you're in Discord, I'll update you like I always do as we go through the day. And so far, yes, looking like it's going to try and push higher and get the top of that box right there, around 40, 45. So, all right. No questions in the chat, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for coming. Got the open in about 2 minutes, so see you in Discord. Bye, everybody.